So
and you're no longer with SiriusXM
at all.
And how long's that been?
A year.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was. How long did I take to make a studio? It was a week, right?
Oh, as in like when construction started and this no longer was a basement?
I built this and made it a studio within a week, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And because I had a lot of advice. I had a lot of people in the podcasting world. Brendan Schaub told me to come over to his house and calm me down because at first I shit a brick. I thought it was over. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm done. And he was like one of the first people that I trusted because he's successful in the podcasting game. And he goes, dude, relax. Like there's a transition here. You got to make a pivot, but you're going to be fine. He was like, in 3 years from now, you're going to be sitting there laughing. I was like, oh man, I was talking about moving out of my house. And he's like, dude, calm down. Like it's not all over. So he was like a really good person.
That's great.
For that first couple of days. And then Bert Kreischer said, get back on. Like whatever you got to do, get back on now. So.
I mean, it was evident to me the whole time that you were at SiriusXM that your fans, your audience was very loyal to you.
Yep.
Because I would hear about it when I was on the show. And, I would interact with a lot of people doing meet and greets on my tour. And it was just really frequent that I would hear of it. So I just got the impression that your fans are very loyal. And so it makes sense that, you go from SiriusXM to podcasting, you're going to bring your audience with you.
Yeah.
I could actually imagine that you would even do better from a financial perspective because whatever SiriusXM was willing to pay you, they're selling their own ads. They give you what they're willing to part with. But now you're in the position where you are selling the ads. And I can imagine that before long, you're going to be making more money than you were at Sirius.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I think that you're right on the potential of it all. I think it's just a matter of, a little bit of luck, but of, hard work and really trying to do the best you can. And I think we're definitely about that. So, and it already has done really good. Like considering what I thought, I'm doing really good. Is it what Sirius is? Not, but I know it's getting better. The shows are getting a bit bigger every couple of months. So I think it's just a matter of being in there for a little bit longer. I mean, how long did it take before did yours just blow up immediately and stayed at a certain level, or have you climbed?
I don't know that I could say that it, went up or down because it just goes up and down like every week. I feel like because my podcast is so guest driven that it just depends entirely on the guest.
Oh, wow. And does it matter when the guest says, is it a great interview? Like he breaks something, or is it more about that person's name?
It's just about the name recognition. And I'm really at the mercy of that, which is a little bit frustrating because I have no control over whether an episode's going to perform.
Does that sometimes
is it incredibly anxiety inducing? Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like the only way I get involved in that was I can relate because SiriusXM, I didn't pick people. They gave us people, and there was times where they gave us famous people that I didn't like, and not much, but a couple of times I was like, I'll pass on that. Like, I don't know what I'm going to tell that person that I've always thought he sucked. Like, that's a shit interview.
Right.
And then I've had bosses say, oh, no, you'll be talking to him. Like, that's going to help open doors for all these other things. And I'm like, oh, shit, all right. And then it ends up turning into, a fight. Like, Dice Clay flipped out. I told him I didn't want him on there. Like, I don't know what to do.
Was the Dice Clay episode on your show, or was that on the Stern show?
No, that was mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that all by myself.
I recall that vaguely. It was something to do with his son was in there.
Yeah, well, okay, so, man, I want to interview you, but...
Right.
They at first it was the argument was like, you got to let them in and do this thing. And when their kid's band wants to play. And I'm like, dude,
I remember
I'm not doing that. And he's like, well, they want to do an interview with the band. And I said, well, I'm not doing that. And he's like, well, can they come in with him? And I said... okay, yeah, I can tell that it's like, yes, I'll do that. Right. So then when they come in halfway through the interview, he decides, he's like, so you're just going to interview my boys now? And I was like, what? nah, you're like, we're just gonna keep talking. He's like, oh, okay, well, you're gonna play their song at least. And I'm like, oh no, because that was back then.
Right.
It was even more. My crowd wanted me to be me at all times, and the song was really bad. So I could just feel it when it started playing. I was like, everybody listening is like, you better fucking say it, Ellis. You better fucking say it. And I'm like,
you sugarcoated it pretty well.
Right. I said, hey, you guys are not signed, right? And they said no. And I was like, yeah, because you're not ready, clearly. But and he just went off straight away. I know it's your kids. Like, I get it if you fucking insulted my kids, but I also wouldn't bring my kids' shitty band onto a radio show. I'd have a little bit more of an ear for it before I told everybody to check them out. But it was one of those things where I don't like it. People like that, but I didn't like it. I could not do that.
I relate to that.
You've done that?
Well, no, I don't like confrontation. I don't like, just kind of overly negative shit.
Yeah.